Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Wednesday, September 27th, 2023. Of course, today is the day in history that the Jesuit order was recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. And we've been talking a lot about deaths and tragedy in Baltimore on this day. Again, Baltimore, big in the news, a manhunt underway, reportedly for a murder that happened on Monday. And recall what we talked about on Monday, why September 25th, which was Monday, is such a fateful day every year. The day leaving 97 days left in the year, a number of deaths. And again, we covered the passing of the 8 Mile actor and also Nelson Mandela's granddaughter, plus more. Anyhow, look at the latest news. A young CEO of a tech company was murdered on that day, again, September 25th, the day leaving 97 days left in the year. And look at her name, Pava Lapir. In Gematria equals 97. Again, if you're new here, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. You learn this, you'll never look at mainstream news the same way again. You'll never look at rig sports the same way again. This knowledge reveals what's really going on. And again, they're saying it's just this lone killer, and the news media with your regularly scheduled programming, they love to make you fear black men. It's been going on for all of the age of television. Constantly black men blamed for killings, a lot of black men in prison for killings that they're not responsible for. I don't know who killed this woman, who actually did the physical killing, but I understand the order that's really behind this. Because again, it's the Jesuits that run this nation and operate by this code every single day and create this type of propaganda and stories day after day, again, by the code. So you got to ask, what are the odds? What are the odds that on the day leaving 97 days left in the year, a young woman gets murdered whose name equals 97? Again, if you're new here, Gematria is very simple. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. It's the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. Pava Lapir is 97 with the alphabetic order forwards. Death is 97 with the alphabetic order in reverse. And then the other two ciphers are the alphabetic order forwards and backwards, incorporating numerology. The word death is 25 when you run it in reverse with numerology. 97 is also the 25th prime number, and that's why every year on September 25th, the day leaving 97 days left in the year, we're getting these same types of stories over and over. And they're saying the young woman was 26. The name of her company, EcoMap, equals 26. And again, Baltimore. And this happened the day before Brooks Robinson died by the numbers. And if you were watching ESPN's First Take this morning, Stephen A. Smith said he thinks that the Brooks Robinson death is going to put the Orioles in the World Series. He's telling it from the perspective of it's going to really motivate the team to, push him here at the end of the season. The last time the Orioles in Baltimore were in the World Series was in '83, the same year Brooks Robinson joined the Hall of Fame. Of course, we covered Brooks Robinson's death by the numbers yesterday, and sure enough, the Orioles won by the numbers on the day Brooks Robinson dies. And apparently that's where the news first broke. They announced it before the game, just before it got underway. So, think about it. But yeah, same patterns over and over. And same supposed truth community refusing to share this knowledge anywhere. Again, be selective of what other channels you're watching. Like I've said for pretty much the last decade, if they're not talking about Gematria, they're probably not even worth listening to. Because again, there's no other knowledge out there that really exposes what's going on day after day, consistently, without a doubt. Same lessons, again, literally day after day, year after year. How could you not share this information? I would suppose only if you're told not to. Okay, Travis King back in the news today. Now remember, every time I've talked about Travis King in the news, I've pointed out the very Jesuit rituals. Supposedly he crossed the border into North Korea on July 18th, 18/7, like 187. The big Jesuit code, Society of Jesus 187 in Gematria. Then the story came back up on August 15th. They waited until August 15th to bring it back in the news. And that's the Jesuit order's birthday. That's the day they were born in Paris, France in history, August 15th. And now it's back in the news on September 27th, the day the Jesuits were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. And what's the point I've been making in every video I've done about Travis King? A black man with the surname King, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated on the 95th day of 1968, just like how the Jesuits were created to counter the 95 Theses, and Martin Luther King Jr. was named after Martin Luther, who wrote the 95 Theses. And again, from Martin Luther penning the 95 Theses to Castle Church to the establishment of the Jesuits was 201 months later, and from the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. to the nation's first major gun control was 201 days later, and the Jesuit order equals 201, and again, we're in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, who's the first to live in Suite 201, and yada, yada, yada. But now, they got the Travis King story on this day. So, again, is there a Travis King? Is this another person from thispersondoesnotexist.com website that looks real in the news? Whatever it is, it's an obvious ritual. And again, focus on race. If you've seen the story this morning, they're saying Travis King had a problem with the way people are treated racially in the U.S. military. So again, the emphasis on race, the Jesuits, who are the mastermind controllers who love to keep people fighting amongst themselves over the same old topics, who know how to introduce new topics to keep people fighting even more amongst themselves, from the whole transgender push to everything they control, politics, all of it. But again, you just got to say, what are the odds? And again, for No Discernment Dan out there, who's now saying that he doesn't think the Jesuits have anything to do with this, again, doesn't really make any sense that he's saying that. But the consistency in my work, every video I've talked about with Travis King, I've pointed out the clear Jesuit code, the clear Jesuit parallel. And again, No Discernment Dan's making videos saying, like, I don't understand how we can just say it's Jesuits. It's like, okay. Anyway, anyone saying anything like that is either a total moron or just a fraud and a liar. And again, here's more proof that it's the Jesuits, just playing with you by the same old code, the same old topics. This is how it works. They control the regularly scheduled programming where it's always about race. And again, look at these Jesuit scumbags. You got Gavin Newsom playing with the people of California, flirting with the idea of reparations. It's just a sick joke. Again, look at what Lincoln said about the Jesuits. He said they were the biggest pushers of slavery in America. So the same gang that wanted to push slavery once upon a time and is responsible for the American Civil War, they're now the same gang that all these years later wants to use that past to keep people fighting about history. Again, they play all sides of the equation, these Jesuit scumbags. And I'm not the one to break this news. This stuff's been explained for centuries. This is why the Catholic Church even had to suppress the Jesuits. And the Jesuits serve the Catholic Pope, if you don't know who they are. And then that's the whole problem, too, with Americans at this day and age. They don't even know who the Jesuits are. That they were a huge piece of why the country was founded. People were trying to escape the Catholic Church and the Jesuits of Europe. And, of course, they followed, the people who were trying to escape right over here. They said, oh, you want to go start a new thing over there? Well, we'll be sure to control that, too. And again, it's obvious the Jesuits have been controlling this nation ever since the capital went to Washington, D.C., which was always the Jesuit stronghold. That's where they came and set up camp in the early days when the original capital was in Philadelphia. And that's the thing about America, too. I mean, how many Americans know that the capital used to be in Philadelphia? Sadly, probably not a lot. So, okay. And then the one other thing I've been pointing out about Travis King with the MLK parallel the whole time is in Gematria, Travis King equals 68. What year was MLK killed? 68. What does Catholicism equal? 68. What year was the Club of Rome established? 68. Okay, I think those are all the main points here. And then just the latest with Hunter and Joe Biden. Again, two Jesuit puppets. A lot of people who think they're awake that aren't have been saying things like, all these news stories are just trying to cover up the Hunter Biden scandal. Again, all the people who think like that have no clue what they're talking about. Every single story with Hunter and Joe Biden's a distraction, just like every single story with Trump is. They're all a bunch of little Jesuit puppets playing the divide and conquer game, and every time Hunter Biden's in the news, it's by the Jesuit code, as we've been documenting for years. Just like same thing with every little Trump story. Today's 311 days after Biden's birthday. Remember what 311 is. The number 201, the number of the Jesuits, is 311 in base 8 counting. Just like how Event 201 was the coronavirus pandemic simulation, and then the pandemic was declared on 311. And since it's 311 days after Biden's last birthday, that means it's 54 days to his upcoming birthday, Jesuit Order 54. And we all know what happened to his younger son with the 54 name, who was sacrificed 201 days before the Pope's birthday at age 46, before Joe Biden became number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, on the 201st day of the nation's age, 20/1. So, again, and here we are with another big climax in the Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scandal on arguably the most Jesuit day of the year. And let's not forget that Joe Biden's from Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the hit show The Office ran for 201 episodes. And in the beginning of every episode, you see the Jesuit Scranton University flag. Again, Scranton has one of 27 Jesuit universities in the nation. One of 27. And realize this big Jesuit day is September 27th, the 270th day of the year, 270. Big Bible number, 27 books in the New Testament. Matthew equals 27, the first of those books. And for one other point about the Travis King story, from the July 18th crossing the border story, that was 71 days ago, the word Catholic 71. Or from July 18th to today, it's a total span of 72 days that the story's occupied. Jesuit orders 54 forwards, as we just mentioned. When you run it in reverse, Jesuit order is 72. So, again, the last time Travis King was getting the big headlines, August 15th. That was the day North Korea confirmed he was in the country. And, again, North Korea, you look into the Korean War, another big ritual in history. Another big ritual in history with the same number code all over it. Shortly after World War II, and remember who the Jesuits are. They're a military order. And they're worldwide. And they've been instigating war, and with it, division by the numbers for as long as they've been around. So, once again, we'll keep it short and sweet. And thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time, Truth Seeker.